Howdy AdWords fans, welcome back. As promised, we are going to set up our remarketing tag, and I'm going to show you how to install the remarketing tag on your website, and we're going to go ahead and create our remarketing audiences. As we know, and as we learned just in the previous video, remarketing is really an essential part of your overall account strategy. It's really important to be able to stay in front of your visitors, to be able to get them back to your site time and time again, because as we saw, very, very few people are going to convert or going to take that action you want them to take right away. They're usually going to have to come to your website a few times. They're going to go through an educational process, and remarketing allows you to specifically target those people who left your site, who abandoned your site, or who engaged with your site to a certain extent. So let's go ahead and generate our remarketing tag, and that's the first thing we have to do. Now keep in mind, we're in a test account for Poppin Furniture, so we can't actually go ahead and add the remarketing tag to Poppin's site, but I'm going to show you what it looks like on our site, adventureppc.com, for our agency, and I'm going to show you exactly where you would edit the tag, where you would find the tag, and more specifically how to test to make sure that your tag is working. Okay, so the first thing we do is we navigate down here to the bottom left hand of the screen to what we call the shared library. If you remember, we use the shared library to take a look at negative keyword lists. And this shared library is also where we're going to set up our remarketing campaigns and generate our remarketing tag. So go ahead and click on shared library. Okay, and the first, in the first row, first column, audiences, this is the area which we want to navigate to get our remarketing tag. So we go ahead and click view, or you can navigate to audiences from the left hand panel as well. It's the same thing. Because we don't have any remarketing campaigns or remarketing tags set up on the website yet, we need to first set up remarketing. We're going to leave use dynamic ads deselected because we're not going to be running dynamic ads right now. In fact, Poppin would probably be a good candidate for dynamic remarketing, and you guys know what dynamic remarketing is from the previous video, so we're just going to go ahead and click set up remarketing without checking that box. And Google's going to ask us right away how we want to handle adding the tag to your site. Okay, so AdWords makes it very easy for you to send tags to your web developer or your webmaster right by email. If you don't have access to your site's code, if you don't have access to the back end of your site, then you want to send an email to the person who manages your site from here. What we're going to do is deselect send instructions by email, and we're going to click view AdWords tags for websites, and here is our AdWords tag in this box. If I just click in it once, it's going to select the entire thing for me. This complete piece of code, what we call a snippet, this snippet of code, this is our Google remarketing tag. And remember, we want this tag on every page of our site. We want it to be global. So what I would do generally is copy this code by Command-C or Control-C, and then go into my web area and paste the code. Okay, we're not going to do that now because we simply don't have access to Poppin's website. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to our website, and I'll show you exactly what the tag looks like once it's installed. So I'm going to click continue, return to audiences, and now we're going to be on our standard audiences page that you're always going to see. Okay, so Google generates for you an all visitors list by default. This is going to be anybody who comes to your site. It's not part of a campaign yet. We're not advertising to these people. Google is just collecting cookie IDs of people who have been cookied by our remarketing tag. And as you can see over here in the upper right hand corner, Google's giving us a warning, an error sign that we haven't detected the AdWords tag on your website or in your app. And this is where you would go in and get the tag details again. I could view the tag implementations and instructions, and I could once again go ahead and view my tag right here if I ever need to get it again. Okay. Now let's go over to adventureppc.com. This is our agency website, and we're going to test. I'm going to refresh the page, and we're going to test if there is a remarketing tag installed on the page. There's two ways to do this. If you notice in the upper right hand corner, there's a little icon that looks like a shopping tag with the number 2. This is called Tag Assistant by Google. It's a Google Chrome extension. Okay, the way you get that is by going to your Chrome extensions, by clicking Settings, more tools, extensions, and you'll be able to go ahead and search for the tag assistant and add it to your Chrome browser. Okay, so once you have that added, it's a really handy tool to check for Google tags loaded on any given page. So I'm going to go ahead and just simply click the tag, and I'm getting a little bit of an issue. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's a little fussy. Let's try it again here. And here we go. And it drops down nice, and we see here there are two Google tags. One is Google Analytics, which we have our Google Analytics tag installed on the site, and it's also showing me that we do have our remarketing tag installed. If I click on the remarketing tag, I could see the conversion ID and the actual code snippet. Okay. Another way to test to see if you have a remarketing tag installed is you could view the page source of this page. So if I right click anywhere on the page and I click view page source, I get the page source for this page. And I'm going to just hit Command F, jump back over to our tag manager, grab the remarketing tag ID, copy it, and then we could go back to view page source, and I could search for that ID, and here it is. Okay. This is our remarketing tag, and it's viewed in the page source. So you could copy the ID from your tag in your AdWords dashboard, and you can come into your page source to view it. Once your tag is implemented, you want to make sure it's working. So now I know I have a tag installed, and just to show you it's on every page, let's say I go over to our reviews page. If I click on the tag manager again, once again it's being a little fussy tonight. It usually works really well. And here it is. We see the remarketing tag once again is on every page. So we have the remarketing tag on every page of our site. It's a global tag. We put the tag in our footer, and that's kind of the ideal place to put the remarketing tag. Now, I'm not sure exactly what web host or web management solution, content management system you're using. You might be using a custom solution. It's very likely you're using WordPress because WordPress is the most popular content management solution. You might be using Squarespace. You might be using Weebly, Wix, Cloud Pages, Unbounce, Duda. There's really a lot of different solutions that you might be using. But I'm going to show you right now exactly how it works with WordPress. If you're using something other than WordPress, what you want to do is add the code to a footer block. It's an HTML code. It will not display on the page. You want to just add it in an HTML or text editor block in the footer of your website. But let me show you how it looks in WordPress. So let me jump over into our WordPress dashboard. And if you're familiar with WordPress, this will look really familiar with you. We'll come down over here under Appearance, and then in the flyout menu for Appearance, you want to click on Widgets. And this will use, depending on the theme you're using, a lot of different themes work differently. This will generally bring up your footer widgets and all the different widgets you use throughout the site. We went ahead and added the code very simply in a text widget in the footer area. And if I drop this down, we'll see this is exactly where my Google code for remarketing lives. Now, if I select all and I get rid of it and I click Save, and we come back to our website, and we go to our tag manager, we'll see that we no longer have the remarketing tag installed on our site because we're just showing Google Analytics. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go in there. If I didn't have a text widget, for example, let's say this was not here, and I wanted to add a new text widget, I just grab my widget, drag it over, open it up. You don't put a title. I paste in my remarketing tag, I click Save, and that is it. It's all done. It's super, super simple. But yet you still want to make sure that you're testing it once it's installed. So I'm going to refresh my main page of the website, go back to the tag assistant, and now I see the remarketing tag is fired correctly. Okay, so now the remarketing tag, I'll just make sure it's working on all the pages. Here's our contact us page, and there it is. Okay, so I know that remarketing tag is installed properly. I could get rid of this. I can get rid of my WordPress dashboard, and let's go back into our campaign.